Hello everyone and welcome back to the training video. Today we will be talking about DocuSign mostly. My name is Mikey. I'm working with Keller Williams McLean. I have posted a video before showing you exactly how to get up to this point. So by now you should already know how to create a contact, what you need to do in order to create an opportunity. And actually creating the opportunity. So if you don't know, please reference the video beforehand or make an appointment with me, and so we can go over it together. So today we will be talking about DocuSign. So if you did create an opportunity and you made it to the documents section, this is where DocuSign comes into play. So if you look right next to the add document button, there will be a start a transaction button. It's not live quite yet, so we are waiting on that, but you can still go to DocuSign.com and log in with that username and password that you created within Command. So right now it's just a small extra step until that button goes live. So if you go log in, type in your username, password, log in, and it will bring you to the e-signature dashboard. So this one is going to be different than the rooms dashboard. So as soon as you log in, click your profile picture, and then you'll see the button that says switch to rooms. Go ahead and click that each time you log in, because the two accounts, they're separate platforms, if you will. And so once you get into there, if it's your first time playing around with DocuSign and you haven't put in your NRDS ID quite yet, you want to make sure that you go to settings and type this information in. So click your profile picture again, go to settings, and then go to integrations, and make sure you're in the rooms account up here. Make sure it says rooms, because if you click settings, you won't see any of this. So it's very important. And so type in your NRDS ID if you do not know how to find it. DocuSign left a link right here for you. Click on this and follow the prompts. I don't have an NRDS ID because I'm not an agent, and so once you get that ID, type it in here and select the corresponding association. So most of you will be with the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors. Once you put that information, click save, and then you're good to go. Going back, we'll look at the dashboard. This is just basically an overview of everything that you have going on. And then if you click on the next tab, which is rooms, this will show you all of your active rooms, closed. You can sort it by created, oldest, newest, alphabetical, expected closing date, etc. And then your inbox. So if you look up here at the top left where I'm highlighting, you'll see an email address. This is your DocuSign email address. Every time you email a document to this email address, it'll show up right here. And then you can also get a fax number, and so you can get things faxed to you if that's still used. And so we'll go to My Documents, and then this is where you can upload your own documents. So if you see I already put team agreement right here. So if you have a team agreement, or if you have team paperwork, you can create a folder for that, click create, and then you can add files here, either from your computer, Box, Dropbox, or Google Drive. I'm really only familiar with Dropbox and Google Drive. I haven't played around with Box quite yet. But I'm sure I'll get familiar with it here in the near future. So on the next tab, you'll see forms. This will be a good overview of all the associations that we work with. Nikolai has already created some groups for you. So you'll see Virginia Sales Listing, Virginia Sales Buyer, Virginia Rental Listing, Virginia Rental Tenant, and NVAR is the only association that we have uploaded in here right now. If you're doing transactions in DC or Maryland, keep using your zip forms accounts, or .loop if you decided to extend that. But you'll see all the paperwork needed in this section right here. It's just more or less for you to add your own documents. So going back to commands, once that start a transaction button is live, you'll click that, and then it will pull you into DocuSign. And so this information right here, I have to type it in right now only because that button isn't live. But once it goes live, you won't have to do any of this. It'll automatically do it for you, and it will it'll auto populate all of this for you. So this is just a short-term thing, just temporary. And so select the side, list by side, or if you're a dual agent. So we'll do list side today, and then the room will be created. And so once that button goes live in command, it'll just automatically take you into this section right here. And so this is all the details. If you click edit right up here, you can add in the seller's information, if there's a second seller, the listing agent, if you have another listing agent, buyers, and so on. And so once we go into documents, you have to make sure that you add your documents in here before you try to get signatures, because if you don't add them here, the platform won't know where to take these documents from. So click add. Again, you can add it from your computer, Box, Dropbox, or Google Drive. And then if your ZipForms account is integrated, then you can take it from here as well. So right now we're going to use DocuSign forms since they're already in here, and this is what most of you will be using. And so there's going to be a drop down menu of 2 options, and see, I didn't put in my NRDS ID here, so that's why you're getting this this message information. So again, if you didn't put it in there, then they give you a link again to find your NRDS ID, and you have to put it in here so you get access to all the forms that you need. So click it, follow the prompts, put it in there. If you already put it in under your settings, then you won't see this pop up. I didn't put one in there because I don't have one, so of course it's going to pop up. Moving forward, so you'll see at the top menu, you'll see 2 options. You see DocuSign Forms Library and DocuSign Forms Group. So the library is going to be all the associations. Right now, again, we only have NBAR in there. So if you click that, you can see everything that I showed you on the screen before. And this is only if you just need to add like one document, if you forgot to add something. If you're just creating a room, then you could go to DocuSign Forms Group, and then this will be basically the templates that Nikolai has created. So you see Virginia sales listing, buyer, rental listing, etc. And so we'll do a listing today. You can either select all of them or you can just select a few. We'll select all of them today, and so we will add them here, and then it'll populate for you. So each one, they are not populated with our broker's information quite yet. That is coming, but for now you will just have to make sure that you type in this information. So from this tab is where you want to put in as much information as you can, and then you can always add to it later if you like to. So you would type in the broker's information, Alright, and then you can either you can view the history of it, you can get some help if you need to, whichever. You just have the other actions button up here if you have any questions, and then you can scroll down and just type in whichever you need. Hit save and close, and so this will save the information in here for you. And so when you keep moving forward, you'll see the people tab. This is if like you're a transaction coordinator, or if you're an admin and you need to add an agent to the room so that they can see everything that's going on. If you just click invite right here, then you could send them an email, put them on a list or buy side, and then select a role for them. And then envelopes, this is where your this is where your clients will come in. So if you need to create a new envelope, you're basically putting a bunch of documents into an envelope. You can name it whichever you want to, whatever helps you. So I would just put the address, 123 test, listing paperwork, and then I would send over the listing paperwork. And then this is why you need to add those documents into the rooms before you actually move on to this step. So we only did one. I don't want to make the video too long, and so I clicked add documents to the envelope. You can either view it, make sure everything's okay, and then we will go down here and you'll see add recipient. So this is where you could send something to all the room participants, or if you're just sending it to the seller, so Mr. Sellers, and type in their email address, and then they will get this envelope, and then you can select what they need to do with it. So if they need to sign it, if they just need to view it or keep it for their own records, there's some addendum and everyone's already signed it, you need to send it back to them, this is how you would do it. And then if you want them to receive a copy, and then under more, you can add access authentication. So this is helpful, especially if you want to look secure, or I mean, this is much more secure. So you can add a passcode here for you, so they know as soon as they get the document that they need a passcode to look into it. Obviously, computer security is a big deal these days, especially with paperwork like this, and a lot of information being out there. So you can set the password here, and then if you go down here, you can change the email subject to please sign this listing paperwork. And if you do set a passcode, I would probably send it in a different email, or even through a text message or a phone call, or you can write it here, please be on the lookout for passcode, and then that way they know, okay, they're sending it to me. So once you have all of that squared away, you click next, and then this will take you into basically your fields edit. So once you're in here, it is loading. Alright, and then once you're in here, all of this should be filled out already. If it's not, no big deal. You can always handwrite it or whichever you want to use, and then you would have to add your signature fields. So just go through, at least for right now, and then just type in which signatures you'll need. You could just put this in here. You can add initials if you need to. Most of these are initials, so I'd recommend using initials. So on and so forth. And so once all of that is squared away, you have everything that you need populated. Click send, and it will send it to that person. It still says waiting for others. Once they signed it and send it back to you, it'll probably say signed, ready to go. And you could just add new envelopes. And so once that is signed, then you can either view the documents, view the history, copy it, or void it if needed. So we'll go back here, and once you have all of this squared away, then you will download these signed documents, and then this is where you would add the file and then just drag and drop it. Once you drag and drop it, it'll say submitted right here. I guess I'll use something. We will assign it, and then it'll say open. I have uploaded it. I haven't submitted it to the MC yet, so it will say open. Once I click submit to MC, you click submit, and then it will say submitted. And then this is where compliance will review it. They will accept or reject it. And then we are adding those folders for full PDFs if you want to put them in there. But again, DocuSign is fully usable. You just have to go to DocuSign.com, and then once that button is live, then you won't have to double enter the address. If you have any questions about DocuSign, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Amina, anyone in the office. And then we will be doing DocuSign classes here pretty soon as well. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you for tuning in.